We were in the lab last night working on this thing, like watching Green Bay Packers, Washington Commanders, also in the lab, like getting my WNBA stuff ready to roll for the playoffs. Like this is kind of what we do. It's that time of year, and we try to make as much money as possible. And what I noticed in doing a lot of historical research on the 28 teams who have won the WNBA championship, there's pretty much 3 stats that matter. 2 of which are team stats and 1 that is a player stat. But the 2 team stats, which are the pretty easy ones to kind of think about, net rating, which you've all heard if you've watched NBA or bet the NBA, follow it, and listen to like all the NBA guests that we have, like the Matt Moores of the world or the Jay Crouchers of the world. Like they all talk about net rating helping determine which teams are the best teams. Well, net rating matters a lot in the WNBA when you look at teams who have won the title. Also, a statistic that the WNBA reference page has, which is widely available to anyone, so this is not like proprietary or anything like that, but it's their simple rating system, otherwise known as SRS. So like a couple of kind of geeky stats there that help determine who wins the title and what title teams tend to look like. And it's pretty simple. Teams in the WNBA are pretty consistent. Guess what? The best teams typically win. Like 26 of the 28 WNBA champions were top 2 in net rating. Now, there's a couple exceptions, like the Chicago Sky team that won a handful of years ago, 2021, with Candace Parker. Like that team, I'm still investigating as to how the hell they won that WNBA title. They don't make any sense whatsoever. But like they're one of the few outliers. But they're like an older team, just went on this magical run and they won the title. But more often than not, it's like your juggernauts. And right now in the WNBA, we kind of are in like the super team era. Like, it's so funny. Like, you see the WNBA is in their super team era, and the NBA is now in, like, their parity-driven era. Like, the WNBA has some loaded teams. And one of those teams, the Minnesota Lynx, who were the number 1 team in net rating this past season. They're the 1 seed. After the Lynx, you have the Atlanta Dream at number 2. So, according to that trend, which goes back all the way to 1997 when the WNBA first launched, the top 2 teams, 26 of the 28 WNBA champions, came from the top 2 in the net rating. Those teams are Minnesota and Atlanta. So those are 2 teams that are already right off the bat kind of want to be keying in on as teams that you're thinking about to bet to win it. And right now, the Lynx, minus 105 to win the title over at BetMGM. Jay Croucher was on with us last night. He talked about the Lynx and how they should be like favored over the field to win the title because they've been that good all throughout the season. And like the Collier injury kind of slowed them down a little bit. But even with that, they've been far and away the best team in the league this year. The Atlanta Dream are 9-1, which kind of makes them somewhat interesting. The Liberty at plus 330, the Aces at plus 360, but the Dream, sort of a kind of a surprise team this year. Not surprised in the fact that like people are shocked that they're somewhat decent, but nobody thought they were going to be this good. In fact, they doubled their win total from last year. Like that's how good they are. And I think it's been a really, really impressive season by the Atlanta Dream. They're your second team in net rating. So those are the teams from net rating. They check the net rating box. As for the simple rating system box, once again, this is a stat that is widely available across sports reference, whether it's NFL, NBA, hockey, WNBA. It is a way to value and measure team quality. And no surprise, the number 1 team is the Minnesota Lynx. They're the 1 seed, like they're the number 1 team in net rating. Number 2, the Atlanta Dream. Number 3, the New York Liberty. And we went to 3 with this one because 26 of the 28 WNBA champions were top 3 in simple rating system. So Lynx, once again, Dream once again, and now the Liberty, who won the title last year. Those are the team numbers. The individual number that makes a lot of sense and like kind of determines what kind of star player you need to win the title, it's win shares. And win shares is a statistic that is used in the NBA and in other sports as well, but it's a pretty simple one to understand, like how much of your production leads to winning, essentially, is how you kind of sum up win shares. And 23 of the last 28 WNBA champions were led by a player who finished top 3 in the league in win shares. So in that particular season, you had a player that was like just dominant and was better than the rest of the field and was thought of as an MVP caliber player. Your top 3 players in win shares this WNBA season: Las Vegas Aces center A'ja Wilson, who might win a back-to-back MVP, to my chagrin. I was hoping for Nafisa Collier, but hey, that's how the cookie crumbled. A'ja Wilson was number 1. Number 2 was Minnesota Lynx forward Nafisa Collier. Number 3, Atlanta Dream guard Alicia Gray. So once again, you have Minnesota and Atlanta in that top 3. Vegas, though, at number 1 in terms of the win shares, because A'ja Wilson is the best player in the world and played like it down the stretch as she led her team to a 16-game win streak to close out the year. They were 14-14, and now they're 30-14 in the 2 seed. Like, it's pretty remarkable how the Las Vegas Aces finished this season. So we have all of that right now in tow, and what we want to think about in terms of betting this. Like, Minnesota, Atlanta make a lot of sense. Vegas, from an individual standpoint, they have, of course, a player that can win a title. She's already done it 2 times in her career. But from a team standpoint, the Aces, as good as they've been over these last month and a half, they're only 4th in simple rating system, and they're 5th in net rating. So think about a 16-game winning streak, how well they had to play over those 16 games, and they still don't measure up to past champions. So going forward with that knowledge, the way I'm going to be betting the WNBA playoffs from a title standpoint, it's pretty simple. Bet the Minnesota Lynx. That's what I'm doing. Minnesota checks all the boxes. They are the best team far and away, and the price is not the sexiest. It's like even money, -105, +105, depending on where you do your betting. But I think the Lynx are very, very likely to win the WNBA title and avenge last year's loss where they lost to New York in that decisive Game 5. I like Minnesota quite a bit. But I also like Atlanta as well. And I think from an exacta standpoint, if you want to get a little bit more juice, Lynx over Dream, WNBA Finals exacta, +600. Like, that is a bet that I am making. I think that's a fun matchup because right now, when you look at the bracket, the Dream are the Dream are the 3 seed. So they're on opposite ends of the bracket. So they're not going to have to run up on each other in the semifinals or whatever. But also, one of the reasons why I think the Dream are kind of being suppressed a little bit in the market is that as the 3 seed, like, they'll have to take on Indiana in the first round, but there's a very good chance they're going to have to face Las Vegas in the second round. The market is very high on Las Vegas because of A'ja Wilson. I think A'ja Wilson's phenomenal, but I think she's just going up against this Atlanta Dream team. So I would like Atlanta actually in that series if those 2 teams end up meeting. So I like Lynx over Dream at +600, in addition to Lynx just to win the title as well. But if you don't want to bet the even money and you want to find some fun exactas, I suggest doing it with the Lynx over the Atlanta Dream.